I get this question sometimes, so you might as well, from like older people. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I think everyone has like a cool answer or like a plan that they can just throw out whenever someone says that. They're like, oh, this is the plan. And they pull it out of their pocket, pull it out their ass. I'm gonna be a doctor. I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be dead. For me, I can't even look past like the next 12 months. I don't know if anyone else feels this, but I don't know what's gonna happen in the next few years. I'm 18 and I don't really know what I'm gonna do with my life because I don't know what the world's gonna look like in the future. I didn't know what happens in 5 years. Like if I just know what the stock market is gonna look like, oof. And whenever I see people planning really far ahead, like 10, 20, 30 years in the future, I just think of these drawings from the 1900s of what people back then thought the world would look like today in the 2000s. People thought we'd have laser beams and flying cars, but in reality what we actually have is actually more unrealistic than that. Like think about it. We have the entire catalog of human history and human knowledge in our phones, and we can use AI to just talk and get answers straight away. And instead of using that to like cure world hunger or something, the biggest problem we have is that people get too attached to their virtual AI girlfriends. And so the past 2 years of my life have been like planned but unplanned. It's like I had a rough plan of what I was gonna do. Rough plan, get it? I wanted to do YouTube, maybe get like 100k subs, that would be cool. I started, I did it, now it's like, well, what next? So I think setting that long of a long-term plan is unrealistic. For me, I just keep it simple. I either think about the super short term, so like what I'm gonna do today, what I'm gonna do this month or this week, and then I also think about what I'm gonna feel like on my deathbed. That's like the two visualizations I do. In the middle of 50 years, that doesn't exist to me. I just think about the start and the end. Instead of building plans and things that you can throw out to people and say, yo, I have a plan, trust me, it's gonna happen. I just like to build habits and character traits. You plan a thought, you get an action. You plan action, you get a habit. You plan a habit, you get a character. You build a character, and you have a destiny. And so like 3 very, very consistent habits that I've had my whole life are these 3. And it's not just what I have, but also what I just aim to be like. The first one is just minimalist. I'm very simple. Even after making my first like $10,000 online, I still didn't buy anything. I haven't spent a single cent on anything except for reinvesting back in the business. Like this morning, I was on a call and somebody and my friend was like, bro, upgrade your mic, I can hear you breathing. And I was like, no, but I like this mic, you know, it's special, it's a light on it. That's cool. So that probably comes from a lot of scarcity, but that's just how I am, right? Second one is productivity. I want to be useful to somebody or useful to society. I just want to be hardworking, because when you see a guy who's hardworking, you know that work ethic plus time means he's either going to be really successful against you or really successful with you. And so you kind of want that guy on your side, right? Because nobody, no matter what race you are, what gender, what culture you come from, everybody respects hard work. Whether you like the guy or not doesn't really matter. If he worked really hard for the thing, whether he even gets it or not, like even if he doesn't get it, that's still fine. We just respect the fact that he put in his all, the fact that he had 0 left in the tank, the fact that at the end of his life, he looks back and he says, yep, I couldn't have done any more. I left it all out on the court. I left it all out on the field, or whatever sport you play. Maybe you don't play on a court or a field. Maybe you play water polo. You left it all out in the water. You just peed out all your potential in you just peed out your potential all over the water, bro. I don't know where I was going with that analogy, I can't lie. But this guy's too weird. The third thing is authenticity, which just means I want to be me, which sounds really simple, and it technically is, but especially when you have a lot of influences, that can be pretty hard. I want to stay authentic, but that doesn't mean staying the same. Like I saw this one post, I have a free community, right? And someone wrote a post, and the post was just like, the old videos and the new videos are not the same. And my response, like in my brain, was like, yeah, it's been a year. Like think about 1 year ago. What kind of person were you like 1 year ago? Probably a lot different. To me, authenticity doesn't mean staying the same. Like if my channel is based off my interests, and my interests change, which everyone's interests change over time, then the channel's gonna change. And that's fine. And so I just want to link what I believe, what I say, and what I do together. And so if those 3 things are aligned, I'm authentic. And I'm okay if people don't like me for that, you know? It's like, I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. So for me, I just internally know that, okay, if I just continue these 3 things, and a few more habits, right? But just these are the 3 main things that I thought of. I'm gonna be okay. I'll be like, alright. I keep exercising and I stay healthy, at least I'll have that box, checked off. If I just keep working hard and I'm super productive, I'll have that skill. And if I have that skill, I can always use it. If I stay authentic and people like me, some people don't like me, some people hate me, at least I'll be happy with me. And I see so many videos where people are like, oh, I'm 20 and I don't know what to do in my life. I'm 30 and I wasted my 20s. And yeah, that's fine. I just hate when they make a video that's so soft and so feminine, like, oh, this is to feel better, and everyone clicks because they relate. Like, for me, my advice isn't to just be okay with that and relate to each other. My advice is like, okay, you're not gonna plan on what to do. You're gonna plan on who you're gonna be, and then your destiny gets shaped as a result of that. Don't fall for like the soft pieces of advice. This is like the no bullshit version of that. And the last point that I want to talk about, just because I don't know what my future will be, does not mean that I have to be anxious or fearful of it. I think a lot of people have this like fear of the unknown, which is like the strongest fear in the human brain or whatever, right? The fear of the unknown. But just because you don't know what's gonna happen doesn't mean that you have to feel anxiety. You can just not know what's gonna happen and be okay with that. And instead of trying to figure out what's gonna happen, which that's not how it works, and I'll talk about that a bit more. But instead of trying to figure out how it works, I just want to build the person that I'll be, and so that person, that future version of me, is equipped to handle the things that come up no matter what comes up. Because at the end of the day, it only makes sense looking backwards. So I was watching this speech by Steve Jobs. It's quite a famous speech. And it talks about how he went to university or college or whatever. He was studying something and he dropped out. And he dropped in on a calligraphy class, so the way that they teach fonts and everything. And then he was learning about fonts, and a few years later he made Apple, then he made the Macintosh. And the Macintosh was the first device or whatever to have multiple fonts. And so he did not leave school, drop in on those classes, do all that with the thought in mind like, oh yes, in the future, 20 years from now, I'm gonna make this computer and the computer will have... No. He didn't think that. He just thought, this seems authentic, this seems right, I'm just gonna continue here. And then once he's done it, he's looking back on his life. That's when it makes sense. And so you cannot connect the dots looking from where you are right now. You can only connect it looking backwards. And so stop trying to connect the dots. I think I just want to emphasize that, you know, the title of this video is something like, I'm 18 years old and I don't know what to do with my life, right? I think that's fine. That's the equivalent of saying, I'm 18 years old and I don't have the dots connected. You just need to know where the dots are. And for me, those 3 important dots that will shape the habits, the future, the destiny is, again, I want to live a simple life, I want to be productive and hardworking, and I want to be authentic. That's it. Little actionable step for you. If you give a shit, you can write down your own. Write down those 3. You can write 5, you can write 10, but I think the less you have, the more important, because those really encapsulate who you are. And that's who you're going to be. And so instead of thinking, what am I going to do with my life, think about who you're going to become. Take action. Boom. Yeah. I actually really like recording this video. Haven't made a philosophical whatever video in a while. Yeah. If you want more from me, you can go click the first link in the description. That's Team Ruff, which is my free community. It's completely free. I post more in there. I do a Q&A call like once every week, once every 2 weeks. There's like 9,000 people in there as I speak right now. So if you don't know what to do with your life, go do an actual step. Just write down like 3. You can put it in the comments if you want, or I can write them down on paper. Those 3 things that really encapsulate who you are. You know what encapsulates me? This kiss. Oh. Bro, I need to fix this screen, bro.